How's that? Oh, wow, that's on. Okay, there we are. Well, welcome everyone to the Humboldt Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. I'm so happy you could be with us. This is a moment where we like to just transition. Annette has a beautiful piece of music prepared for us, and this is just a way for us to step away from everything it took to get us here today and just to arrive in this safe, sacred space that we are going to co-create together. So I invite you just to take a breath, settle in, release everything it took to get here, and just allow yourself to be in this space. Welcome. We'll just take a moment to settle in. So good morning once again. My name is Amy Day. I am the Director of Lifespan Religious Exploration here. And this is our last all ages service of 2021. This has been a little experiment we've been trying out to see how we can all come together, different attention spans, different needs, different, proclivities, if you will. So we have been trying this out to see what is it to create sacred space together, to worship together, to sing, to be together in this space together. So thank you. I will just say, I think Scarlett has already corrected our order of service, but this has been one of those days. So we came together to talk about the winter solstice, to honor the dark, right? To honor the things that feel difficult. And apparently this is also the day that we're being asked to honor the chaos and the not going according to plan or schedule. So a lot of things that were supposed to happen today didn't happen today. So this is going to be, in some ways, a very spontaneous offering of the heart. So thank you for coming and co-creating this with us. We want to take a moment just to acknowledge that we are on the unceded ancestral lands of the Way Up people. And though we're not part of the taking of this land, as a people of faith and conscience, we also acknowledge that we play a part. We are called to play a part in the healing and reparations that are called for at this moment. So I want to invite you just to take a breath in honor and recognition for the people that have stewarded this land before us. May we continue to be good and worthy and gracious stewards of this space, of one another, and the space that we are allowed for now to inhabit. So thank you. At this moment, I want to invite forward Laura Phelan-Shahin. She has a fun and interactive chalice lighting for us today. And I think the children are going to be invited to come forward and participate too. So
my slick pre-setup went out, so. I would like to invite all the children to come up and help me light the chalice this morning. Okay, guys. So I want you guys to stand over here. Okay, kiddos. Whatever works best. This works fine. Okay, guys, are you ready to help me? We have to use our imaginations, okay? Okay, so.
I know how to light it.
Oh, you know how to light it. I'm gonna light it a little bit differently with our imaginations today, okay? So get ready. This is kind of hard because I have to use my shoe. Oh, goodness me. Oh, okay, hold on. Oh, okay, I got it. It's a lit match. And I need you guys to pass it all the way around to every single one of you, and then back to me so that we can light the chalice together. Okay? Okay. Penny, you're gonna start it. Penny's hidden back here.
I don't want to.
Don't let it fall.
It's not real.
It's our imagination that's today. Oh, we missed one here. Oh. Thank you. Oh. We did it all together. Thank you, guys. So the quote I would like to read for chalice lighting today is by Elisabeth Kubler-Ross, who had a lot of understanding about the darkest days and death. People are like stained glass windows. They sparkle and shine when the sun is out, but when darkness sets in, their true beauty is revealed only if there is a light from within. Now, will you join me to read our aspirations together? May love be the spirit of this fellowship. May the quest for truth be its sacrament, and service be its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, and to help one another in fellowship. This is our aspiration.
So this, I'd like to introduce you. If you haven't met her, we have some wonderful staff this year. And this is our childcare coordinator, Jessalyn DeLucchi. And one of the wonderful gifts that Jessalyn brings to us is her very active and fun and interactive storytelling. So I don't know if this is something, are kids invited or are we all invited to participate here?
All invited, but I'm not telling a story.
Oh, there's no story. Just kidding. We're not doing that today. I told you, we're embracing the chaos. We're honoring that. So I'm going to move this mic forward so you can hear.
All right, thank you. Good morning. So we're thinking about winter solstice, marking the shortest daylight hours of the day and the longest night, and transitioning into winter. So I'd like to invite everyone to join me in a little body warm up as we think about what winter transition means. Children can come forward. After this, we'll play a little game, so definitely want some help with that. So we begin. Do you want to come up here? With the wind. Whoosh. And swoosh. The leaves. The last leaves are blown from the trees. And the trees prepare for winter. Rounding down, rooting down, spreading their blankets of leaves on the ground. And the squirrel and the chipmunks scurry and scurry and gather their nuts and seeds for the winter to come. And the birds spread our wings. The birds fly south to warmer places, and we watch them go. Goodbye, birds. And the bears, they get ready in their lairs for a nice winter nap. And the children settle down in their chairs. And this winter invites us to contemplate and think and reflect and imagine the coming light for what is to come. And now we can play a game. All right. A little game. I do need some helpers. If any children would like to come up, we can line up. I need more than two. You have a dice too. You don't. All right. Well, we're going to start with Maxine and Jack. You are going to roll this dice. Jack's going to roll this dice. Here is our action, and we'll have fun doing a little bit of winter-themed movement, and then we'll take a moment to pause with breath. So Jack's going to roll our breathing dice. Maxine's going to roll our action dice. You want to start? Go ahead. We're going to take 5 breaths after we do our action. What's our action?
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, so we'll do the 5 breaths after we stomp like a snow boot. So we're put on our snow boots. Wrap ourselves in a scarf so warm, taking 5 breaths together. 1, 2, 3. Wrap it away. 4. Nice and warm in your scarf. 5. You want to pass the dice to someone else and give them a chance? Oh, and you want to spin that? You want to roll that dice? Can you roll that dice? Oh, let's roll it again. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, and we've got flying like the birds and 2 breaths. So if you'd like to stand up and try flapping your wings, flying like the birds, the geese, flying south for the winter. And then here's the challenge. We're going to stand on one leg and balance and read for 2 counts. 1, 2. It's always okay to follow. Balancing takes a lot of practice.
I know how to do that.
You're a great balancer. Who wants to spin next? Somebody do our breath, somebody do our action. Let's do another action. Let's do another action. Okay. We're going to waddle like a penguin. And then we're going to freeze like an egg. So we come up and we waddle. What does a penguin do? And breathe like an egg. For 5 counts. 1, 2, 3, Fine. These are our pausing moments, our moments to reflect. And let's see, who hasn't had a turn? Do you want to do that one?
I haven't had a turn to do that. I
You
haven't had
haven't
one to do that.
Okay, have you had any turns?
Yes.
Okay.
I haven't had.
All right, we'll just switch around. Let's see if we can do all our actions at least once. Once again. I like breathing.
And
One more time. One more time. Let's do something different. This dice. I'm gonna flip it. We are going to sway like a tree. So finding you can stand on 2 feet and sway. Or you can stand on one like Maxine. Nice job balancing. See if you can sway your arms. Ooh, nice, Isla. Put your branches up. And standing tall and still like the mighty evergreen. For 5 counts. 1.
I want to choose that one.
You want to choose that one? We have
I'll have the big one.
one more action. One more.
Actually, you know what? We have 2 more actions.
You're right. We do. You're right. We have red and whoop. Skiing. We're gonna go skiing. Are you ready? We're gonna pretend to ski. Oh, you really want to? We've done model like a penguin. We float like a bird. Now we're going to ski. Okay, so we get on our skis. Oh, and then we're going to breathe for 3. We're gonna get on our skis. We're gonna grab our ski poles and we're gonna. Oh my gosh, I'm tired. I'm going to rest by the fire. For 3 breaths. 1. Feel that warm fire. All right, who can get our last? Our last one is light blue. Anyone? Go for it. See if you can roll that light blue. Ta-da! We're going to, and how many? 3. So we're going to dance like a snowflake. So this is a good ending one. We can twiddle our fingers and twirl about, floating like a snowflake. Floating like a snowflake. Or you can dance on your toes. Dance like a snowflake. The snow. And then we're going to freeze like an icicle. For 3 counts.
Wait, icicles don't breathe.
My icicles breathe. And 3.
Wait, icicles don't even breathe.
They don't breathe. They freeze like an icicle. And thank you for playing.
Let people know. And you can keep playing, actually. So I just want to let you know, as this is a multi-generational service, we want to encourage your kiddos, if they feel able and comfortable, they can stay for the duration of the service. However, at this point, we would traditionally usher the children into their own separate space. So lovely Lelia, one of our teenagers, is with us today, and they will be in the nursery at the end of the hall. So this is a moment, if you would like to bring your little one down the hall, just so they have a little bit of fidget space, you're welcome to do so. And we can sing our song to usher them out if that's where they would like to be. Go now in peace, go now in peace. Let the Spirit of God surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Now in peace, go now in peace. Thank you. So Elisabeth has graciously agreed to sing this song with me. One thing that we have been doing in our RE program, we light our own chalice in our classroom space. And traditionally we have a little, some words, some spoken words that go along with it. But we also know that you can't just teach up here. We know that the greatest teaching is actually the kind of teaching that infiltrates and penetrates the heart. And one of the most effective ways I know to do that is through music. And so we've been inviting in a different song each month to light our chalice in the RE classroom. And this is one that actually one of our former team coordinators, Kit Lynn, taught me, who grew up in the UU church. And so I just have been so haunted by this song. So I wanted to share it with all of you. I think it just really speaks to the moment that we're in, both seasonally and I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open. I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open. I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open. I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open. I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open. I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul. I know my soul. I know this rose. I know this rose will open. I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open. I know this rose will open. Thank you, Elisabeth. So this is a moment, well, actually, no, I'm looking at my order of service, and no, it's not that moment that I thought it was, so it's a different moment. This is a moment where I want to invite up our current team coordinator, Sabrina Miller, just to talk a little bit from her heart and some of the things that she has to share with us today. So I'll hand.
Thank you. So in the theme of honoring spontaneity, this is a contemplation I wrote this morning to share with everyone here. So as we begin to welcome the winter months and the winter within ourselves, it's important that we take this time to really reflect upon the past year and embrace the introspection that comes with the slowing down of this beautiful but often underappreciated season. So many view the darkness of life as a curse, something to get rid of with the shining of the light. But the darkness cannot be dispelled by drowning it out with brightness. In fact, the more we try to resist it, the more it prevails. No, instead, we must learn to embrace the darkness and see it for its value and the gifts that it brings us, which are plentiful. For those who don't know, my name is Sabrina. I recently was brought on as the teen coordinator. Before this, I was actually working with at-risk teens at the local Youth Service Bureau shelter. And as a once at-risk youth myself, I saw the potential for helping young people identify the darkness within themselves and learn to embrace it so that it might lead them towards some essence of light. I actually found my path towards my higher self through the darkness within myself. I was very much fascinated by these parts of me and went deeply towards their exploration. Through this journey, I gained a tremendous amount of insight into the nature of reality. Within the shadows, I uncovered some of life's most sacred mysteries. Only by addressing and embracing these parts of myself was I actually able to begin dismantling and healing the pain in my heart. Excuse me. There's a tendency for us to dismiss darkness or even fear it. The popular culture is to do everything in our power to shield ourselves from pain and suffering, always leading us to some sort of quick fix as a solution to our problems. However, this mindset can actually prevent us from moving forward towards our higher selves, as life, the creation, is a wondrous mixture of varying shapes, hues, and patterns, some of which are bright and lovely, others which are dark and agonizing. Darkness is an inevitable part of life. In fact, it is actually something worth embracing, as are all aspects of life. There is so much value in these experiences, and without taking the time to welcome them as our teacher, we fail to gain the wisdom that lies deep within the shadowed corners of our hearts, where some of life's greatest secrets dwell. We see darkness in our lives all the time, taking many different forms. The climate crisis, natural disasters, man-made disasters, the social injustices that plague our world, and let's not forget those personal disasters that sometimes shake us more than anything else, even if it's only within our personal world. It's clear that these occurrences are completely unavoidable. So then why is it that we continue to run from them with fear and treat them as if they aren't as divine or sacred as all of the light and love that life has to offer? Our relationship with disasters has turned into one that only perpetuates their negative symptoms and creates division among us as people. By shifting our perspective and recognizing that life's hardships have as much purpose as anything else, perhaps we can begin to reawaken our hearts with courage and instill a sense of hope within ourselves that allows us to face our fears and step closer towards transformation. It can be difficult to find value in experiences or events that are the cause of so much pain and grief. But once we can accept that life will always entail suffering, perhaps we can begin to liberate ourselves from this suffering and instead learn to embrace the gifts that lie within the darkness. Disasters are truly an opportunity for transformational growth. In the same way that the diamond forms from extreme amounts of pressure, our divine selves cannot manifest without experiencing some degree of hardship. Only by facing these experiences head-on can we begin to dissolve our fear and those parts of ourselves that do not serve us. We must come to terms with the darkness within ourselves in order to have compassion and understanding for the world around us. Everything that we see in the world exists to some degree within ourselves. Once we recognize this, we can begin to grow more compassionate towards life and develop a deeper relationship with life's disasters. We have seen over these past few years how powerful disasters can be in bringing people together. Only in community can we truly begin to heal our collective trauma and the generational trauma that follows us until we do the work necessary to dismantle its effects on our consciousness. We cannot run from the past. We must face it head on to come to terms with the truth and learn from our mistakes. By facing the truth head on, we can then come together to hold ourselves accountable and generate solutions that allow us to move forward into transformation. I also want to acknowledge the value that disasters, pain, and suffering have in our ability to create and express ourselves. We are all vessels that are continuously filled and emptied through our cycles of consumption and creation. Unfortunately, our society has become primarily about consumption and has stifled our ability to create through trauma and instant gratification. This has resulted in our vessels becoming clogged and overflowing in uncontrollable ways, leaving no room for life to fill us with that which is essential to our growth. Disasters shatter our vessels, creating an opportunity for them to empty. They allow us to acknowledge and question everything that pours out of us and release it so that life can flow through us once again. It is in these moments that our ability to create is abundant. With so much truth being brought to the surface during times of crisis, we can embrace our true nature as creators and use what comes pouring out of our vessels as inspiration for self-expression. So as we begin to enter the winter of our lives and really take the opportunity to slow down, accept what is, rest, face that reality, face ourselves, come together and embrace that suffering and use it as an opportunity for creation and expression, we can truly find the gifts of the darkness. And remember that the darkest nights make the brightest stars and the sun will always rise. Thank you.
That's it. That's everything. You can all go home now. Yeah. Thank you, Sabrina. So this is the moment in our service where we want to do two things, actually. The first thing that we want to do is just take a moment to welcome anyone who is new to our fellowship. And we'll do that in two ways. We can do it in a very low pressure, low stakes sort of way. If you are visiting us for the first time, would you mind just putting a little finger up, or if it's been a while? Okay, great, low pressure, right? All right. So welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Second option, if you're feeling brave, you are welcome to come forward during this next portion of the service and just share your name, anything you'd like us to know, how you found us, and what brings you here today. I know that takes a little bit more courage, so you're fully welcome to just go with route number one too. Welcome. The other thing we invite you to do right now is to come forward. There's a little aisle through here, and I think there's a little bit of a pathway through here. And this ritual is our joy and sorrow ritual. And this is just a way for you to be held inside this sacred space and inside this community with whatever you are carrying on your heart, whatever joys, whatever celebrations, whatever hardships, whatever challenges that you would just like to lift up and be held in sacred space. So we invite you to come forward and share your name, take a pebble, offer briefly whatever it is you'd like to offer, and then just put it into the bowl here. So whenever you're ready, please come on up and share.
John is bringing over the small footstool that belonged to Mary Ann Pennycamp and now resides in front of me, but it can't, if you need it, I'm sure glad to have you have ownership of it. Okay. I'm bringing the joy that was announced in the retired teachers. And that was that we have many children who still need help. And John and I were special ed teachers, just like Mary Ann Pennycamp was. And we loved the children that we taught. Some of them were Native Americans and gave us wonderful stories. The other thing I wanted to announce was that if you knew Susie Smythe, who was a special worker in our county when she was here. She's now in Corvallis, Oregon. So if you want her telephone number or her address, I have it here. And with that, I'm going to take a seat.
Okay, thank you. My name is Pat McCutcheon. This is a stone of sorrow. Our oldest son and grandson are having a hard time now. Divorce isn't easy ever, but especially around Christmas. We love them so much.
Hi, I'm Mandy Bray. I haven't been here since I was here with my mother in August. Yeah, she was getting ready to move to Georgia. And she's 88 years old. She's living in an assisted living center, a couple miles from my brother's house. This will be the first Christmas that she's not with family on Christmas, but the blessing of Alzheimer's is it won't matter what day, and she has friends in the assisted living center. And the bonus is I was able to mail a package to their assisted living center so that it'll be there, should get there on Wednesday, and she can share some of the things with some of the friends there. This is a double double love. My partner Jeff is sitting out in Kanara's corner, and well, he was, may not be now, but he had a wonderful week in Washington, DC. His niece flew him as a surprise birthday gift for his sister who turned 74, and they had a wonderful time. And someday I hope to get to go to the National African American Museum of Culture and Art.
Varying heights here. My name is Beverly, and this is a pebble of gratitude. I am grateful for the ancient traditions of this season. This thing is sliding down. I'm grateful that we can bring living or once living trees into our homes and light them and decorate them and feast and dance, and that all these traditions that were the early Christian church tried to quash as being pagan in origin and in spirit, which indeed they are. I'm just so grateful that these traditions have lasted through the centuries and that we still today are singing and dancing and feasting and decorating and having great joy at this time of year.
Hi, y'all. Nice to meet you. My name is Sai, I like the baseball word Cy Young, and I'm from the U in Santa Rosa, and I moved up here about a year ago, and I'm currently applying to law school, so I don't know how much longer I'll be here, but hopefully over the summer and over the next few months, I'll be able to join you all. So nice to meet everyone.
Hi, my name is Lisa Pennycamp, and I don't know if all of you remember me, but I came here with Oma, Marianne. I know she would sit right there. I can see her. I know all of you were. She always came in front here, and she always talked about us. If you know Lisa, everywhere I went, when I'm with Marianne, she said, "Oh, you're the one she talks about every day." But it's just, I don't know, I just see her somewhere here, and I know she's with me, and she's always be here. So when I sat back there in my imagination, I just think of her being there and singing and laughing, and her words always in front here. We come from Spokane. And every time she came back home, she'd be on the phone and say, "Oh, I had a stone for you every day. So with this stone, this is for her." And I just, promise me, you guys, that you put one for her every day when you come here, please, just for Marianne. For
Peter Pennycamp, and this fellowship meant so much to my mom, and I just feel such gratitude that you're all her friends, and I don't know, I can't say anything beyond what Lisa said. So love you all. Thank you.
I'm going to add one more joy. You just reminded me, I saw on the news on my email that the documentary about Marianne's life is now on our website, free for everyone to get to see. And whoever made that.
Good morning, I'm Chip. I just have to follow up. There's also a copy of the DVD in the library if someone finds it easier to view the documentary about Marianne from the DVD. So this first pebble is gratitude to Sina, Beverly, and David for helping display the banners yesterday in Eureka, the Black Lives Matter and the climate change banners. And this is a stone of love and appreciation for my friend Ernie Stegman. He is doing so well emotionally and mentally, considering what's happening with his body. He's now using a walker because the cancer from his prostate cancer has gotten into his hips and his pelvis. But I spent a little time talking with him on the phone, and he's just as bright and as engaged with the world as ever.
So from Lucera Love, actually, I'm not going to start with that one because it's really long and has multiple parts. Okay. From Debbie, for Joys and Sorrows, this Friday fundraiser was exactly that, a blast. Thanks to a company of voices and Elisabeth and Huff Choir, but most of all, the decorators who made our Huff look so magical. Thank you so much. From Aubrey, beautiful and no, that's about something else. Hold on. Okay, from Kim Tripsmith, blessing on us all, on all of us here in this moment as we struggle together for justice and environmental honesty as we feel the imminent changes of our magical Mother Earth. From Taya, remembering Barbara Carolyn, whose birthday was December 7th, a former Huff member. Barbara died last April. She is missed. From Shalom Fletcher, one stone of gratitude for self-awareness and finally being in a place to heal. One stone for sorrow for my papa still battling cancer and needs prayer and a miracle. From Sina Marino, I'm so proud of my daughter Brooke, who fashioned a relief map of the borderlands between the US and Mexico for a museum project in San Diego. From Victoria Alavers, please help my son Nathan, whose birthday is December 21st, and he will be 15. From Aubrey, I'd like to share a joy that my sister Ashley, who has been in the hospital since November 10th, will be going home this week, and all her children will be with her celebrating Christmas together for the first time in many years. And stone for Marianne from Lucera Love. She was such a beautiful human being and exuded warmth and welcome to everyone. And I would like to read this note from Lucera Love, who could not be here with us today, but she sent in a lovely, lovely poem for us all here today. So, good morning, everyone. I'm sad that I could not be here with you this morning. I have cold symptoms when I woke up and thought it was best for me to stay home as we enter into the darkness of wintertime. My prayer is that we find the beauty in the darkness and treasure in the depths of our being. Remember those who have come before, the ancestors. Listen for the whisper of their voices. Look to the light in your neighbor's eyes. Guiding lights carry you. When you feel alone, you may remember the invisible, the visceral, the threads that connect us all to all things.
Thing up here, but she's actually kind of straddling multiple worlds at once. So thank you for doing that so gracefully. We want to take one final stone and just to lift this up for all the joys and sorrows that remain in our hearts, in our minds, our bodies, our being. Thank you. So I know it says that I have a reading for you, but what I actually would love for you to do with me is to kind of engage in a little group think, a little group contemplation. And so as we were talking about the gifts of this season, the gifts of the darkness, it seems like it really spoke to this last 20 plus unending months that we continue to move through, right? How there's plenty of darkness and shadow and difficulty to be had. And yet it's our work to continue to show up inside of that and find the gold, find the light that sparks inside of us, inside of this time. So we're going to do two things. First thing, I want to invite you to gather with the person next to you. It could be the family, the group that you came with. It could be some people that you feel comfortable getting just turning towards. We don't have to get super close. And I want to invite you to come up together with three things that were just absolutely lousy about the last 20 months. I know it's going to be really hard, so we'll give you some time. Turn towards each other. Three things that all right. Thank you, everyone. Was that cathartic? Maybe. So the invitation is to sift through a little bit of that. And I want to invite you now to, again, please close your eyes. And I want to invite you to see if you can arrive upon just one spot of light inside all that darkness, all that difficulty, one gift that has come for you, for your community, for your family, one blessing that has come to you inside of the darkness of this last 20 months. And just take a moment again, just to invite that in. You don't have to reach, you don't have to strategize. Just see if something wants to arrive in your consciousness. One point of light. And when something has come to you, I want to invite you just again to turn towards your circle or your seat partner and share.
Well, I'm absolutely totally grateful that
Yeah. I want to invite you all just after the service to, if you feel called and comfortable, to continue this contemplation, this conversation, because I think this season calls us to be looking for those pinpoints of light. The darkness calls us to gather, to remember, to reclaim the light that we always have access to. So thank you for joining in this contemplation with me. If you need a little more group therapy, we will have some space outside to do that after the service. I want to invite Annette forward now. She has a story about this next song that she's going to play for us that I was unfamiliar with. So I'm excited to hear what she has to share.
All right. Good King Wenceslas. King Wenceslas lived in Bohemia over 1,000 years ago. He was born into a mixed faith family. His mom was pagan and his dad was Christian. He came to the throne when he was 18 years old, and though he only ruled for a decade, he was beloved by the people. He built a church to bring the two religions together. He reformed the judicial system and visited churches, generously giving alms to widows, orphans, and those in prison. He was considered a father of all the wretched. I was worried about you not understanding that word, wretched. Unitarian Universalists like the carol, Good King Wenceslas, because it's a social justice song. King Wenceslas and his page bring food, drink, and firewood to a poor family on the day after Christmas during a celebration called the Feast of Saint Stephen. While they're trudging through the snow to the poor family's dwelling, the king's page weakens and thinks he can go no longer. But Wenceslas provides warmth to keep him going. And there's kind of a special story about that, but we don't believe in saints and all that, do we? It's like magical. The song ends, "Ye who now will bless the poor shall yourselves find a minor."
Thank you, Annette. Generally, during that portion of our service, we, pre-COVID, would have passed a little basket through the congregation, just as a way to say, if you feel called to give to the work of this fellowship, we appreciate anything you have to offer. We have fully entered the digital age. As you can see, we have our little QR code on the back too, if that's more your scene, but there will be a basket at the end if you feel like offering anything. Thank you. Thank you. I want to invite Elisabeth up one more time, but actually what I want to do first is invite anyone who would like to make a little bit of noise forward, because we have baskets of noisemakers up here. And this is not just for small bodies, this is for anybody that would like to, make a little bit of sound, because we want to invite you to be a part of our music making. So come find something that's okay. Well, congratulations. You have just become our percussion section. Does everyone have something? Okay. So we are going to start off this song written by Charlie Murphy, I believe in the 60s, early 70s. We all know that I grew up with a dearth of Christmas songs, but never really had a solstice song until I went looking for one years ago, and I came across this one, and it has become one of my favorite rituals this time of year. So Elisabeth and I will start off, and then we want to invite you to come in after a little while to be part of our solstice song. So thank you. And actually, when you're done, Elisabeth has very smartly here emptied out one of the containers. You can just bring your percussion instrument here at the end. And light is returning, even though this is the darkest hour, no one can hold back the dawn. Light is returning, even though this is the darkest hour, no one can hold back the dawn. Let's keep it turning. Save up all our lives, they save our journey to the dawn. Light is returning, even though this is the darkest hour, no one can hold back the dawn. Light is returning, even though this is the darkest hour, no one can hold back the dawn. One planet is turning, turning on her path around the sun. Earth's mother is calling her children home. Light is returning, even though it is the darkest hour, no one can hold back the dawn. Light is returning, even though this is the darkest hour, no one can hold back the dawn. Even though this is the darkest hour, no one can hold back the dawn. Light is returning, even though this is the darkest hour, no one can hold back Thank you, everyone. I would invite you now just to stand as you are willing and able as we come to the conclusion of our service. That was it. You guys are the grand finale, so thank you. You can just take a moment. If you feel comfortable, again, just to close your eyes and just to feel into what you may have received, what glimmer of light, of hope, of inspiration, of joy you may have received. And again, this is a nice moment. Yeah, I see a couple of people opening their palms because this is a moment of receiving. We come here to receive in community so that we may go back and offer out into the larger world that we are called to serve and to be a part of its healing. So as you breathe in and take in the final bit of light from your experience, your time here today, we want to just offer back out what we can to the larger world. I want to invite you to join me in humming lightly, for safety's sake, our final exit song as we exit back out into this space. Go from here in peace, go in love. Go from here in peace, go in love. Go from here in peace, go in love, go in peace. Shalom, assalamu alaikum, blessed be, ashe aho. Thank you so much for being with us here today. Thank you, Scarlett, for making everything happen. Thank you to all of you who make all the magic here happen. It was beautiful to be with you here. Happy solstice. Almost. If you didn't catch that, Birdie is announcing that next Sunday is Zoom only, so you can join us in your jammies from home. Yeah, thank you. We will have Christmas Eve here as well at 5 o'clock. Thank you.